Hello, welcome to this video. This particular reaction was requested on Patreon via the Sobbing Susan tier. And if you want to request a reaction from me, you can do so by clicking on the link and going to the Sobbing Susan tier. There are a limited number of spots, so make sure you go in and get your request in for this month. Anyway, let's go on to the reaction. Go. Okay, let's go on to the next song. So, Matthew John, hiya. I'd like to request a TORI AMOS song. She has 16 albums, Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go with Sweet Sangria. Ooh, it seems fitting since right now it's summer and an international political mess. Yes. Okay, let's go. Cool, so this is TORI AMOS, Sweet Sangria from The Scarlet Walk. I don't really like sangria, personally. Ooh, that drum is nicely recorded. Very obviously very real drums. You don't get that as much anymore, do you? Like you can hear the bleed over of the drums into the different microphones. Makes it sound very live.
I know you know every desperado and sharpshooter.
Very closely recorded. That's quite cool. I like this. The doubles being in the panned and very close. That's a really cool technique. I love how that double kind of slowly goes in on every phrase. Ooh. That piano is really a really nice moment. It's the sweetness, isn't it?
Yeah, you think about that.
This is another song that kind of withholds a lot of the musical information until the chorus, you know.
I'm taking us now.
Haven't quite been following the lyric yet, but I'll look it up after anyway. Oh, okay. Huh.
People have suffered time and time again.
Yeah, okay. So just looking at maybe immigration. I love bass, how it kind of into the chorus. Slide. That's the word I'm looking for. That piano is so beautifully implemented. I love it.
Yeah, you think about that.
I love how the vocals are recorded and treated. It's very clever.
Will you believe it? I'm taking it. Will you believe it matters now?
Ooh, that piano's gorge.
Why does someone
Why does someone have to lose? She's angry, isn't she? Ooh. Doesn't sound very sweet, the sangria. Nice. Again, actually, another song that's produced in a more stripped back kind of way. All very, I love, it's all very live, you know? You can tell the drums are recorded with real drums. You can tell the piano is recorded with real piano, and the way the vocals are manipulated kind of is still very dry and very raspy and very in your ear. So it kind of has that real feeling of you better watch your back, you know. That's kind of the feeling. It's she's whispering in your ear, I'm gonna go why I oughta. Yeah, and I loved the vocal technique where it had a central vocal and the double almost was hidden, and then it got louder and then panned out to the left towards the end of each phrase. So it kind of had this almost menacing kind of movement. It was almost the vocal was creeping in on you and into your ear, which was really satisfying. And so I've never heard a vocal treated like a vocal with a double kind of treated in that way. Yeah, it gave it a lot of kind of unique energy to it. I liked that. Yeah, I know you know every desperado and sharpshooter in the West. Okay, we're in a Western vibe. You say that I can't see behind the mask of those who call themselves the good guys in this, who take and take. So are you with me or not? You say, this time decide. Okay, so it seems as if the people who call themselves the good guys represent potentially politicians, people they take and take. Yeah, they call themselves the good guys. Yeah, like, yeah, you say I can't see behind the mask. It's almost like we're being kind of maybe brainwashed into kind of believing what the politicians want us to believe. That's kind of the sense I'm getting. This time to decide, balmy day sweeps on good. She's been gone. Have you seen her? Senorita shyly turning away, leaving me at our fading flame. Yeah, you think about that. What you believe in, it matters. Now to you and me, what you believe in, I'm taking in. So it seems as if like maybe she's been questioned on her kind of ethical and political standpoint. It sounds like maybe she's being criticised from somebody else, kind of saying maybe you're not thinking about this enough. You are kind of having the wool pulled over your eyes. And she's kind of exploring that feeling. I'm not sure who the senorita is. Maybe somebody that she dated. Okay, so here we have a she's clearly talking about, later on, she's clearly talking about immigration and people getting dropped off at the borders, at the breaking point in the borders. The car will drop them off at the border, the breaking point. I know your people have suffered time and time again. But what about, I ask you now, the innocence on both sides? So she's really like, it's almost like she's not kind of supporting either way. It's like a kind of open conversation, isn't it, about immigration and about like that. Although I know that the maybe Mexican people are suffering, but there are innocent people on both sides. Maybe it's interesting. It almost sounds like maybe she's sat at a table with somebody who maybe is an immigrant, having like this political back and forth over a glass of sangria, you know, which is something that is, you know, Spanish in origin, right? That is kind of almost maybe a bit appropriated in the West. So maybe that's kind of why the sangria is like the talking, is like why they're talking over the, because it's almost like this sangria represents, it's a drink that was almost immigrated. Does that make sense? I ask you, give me a bloodless road. Tell me, why does someone have to lose? So I think like her then at the end of the day, she's saying there needs to be more legal and safe ways for people to move into the US and to immigrate and to become a US citizen, because by making it illegal, that's what the danger is, you know, and that's creating like people are losing on both sides, and that's kind of maybe the conclusion that her and this person that she talked to, maybe that's the conclusion they come to at the end. A very interesting kind of setup for a song, and it really, like the way it's all made and the way it all kind of sounds, it does give you this feeling of like a late evening, like a hot night where they're like talking late into the night about politics over a few drinks, and they kind of get into this conversation, and that really seems to be like the energy that the song is trying to kind of replicate. Cool. Very interesting kind of perspective to try and understand, because it's very complex. And I think that like a lot of songs that kind of become political are kind of almost like protest songs, and so have a very specific point of view, which is, you know, great, and really I think is an important part of kind of pop music landscape. But it's really interesting to hear a political song that actually almost like sees both sides and tears it apart in a more detailed way. Yeah, cool. Amazing. Thank you so much for all those suggestions, and obviously thank you so much for supporting the channel and for supporting me via Patreon. So thank you like so much for your support, because actually the Patreon is really making my life as kind of like, you know, budding songwriter and producer, making it so much easier for me to just live and pay my rent. So yeah, thank you directly. Thank you so much to you guys. Yeah, and if you want a whole album, that's there. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys. I will see you later. Bye.